Jeugd, I'm back. Alright, so last video was received very well, over 700 views, wasn't expecting that. So today I'm back. And today's build is about Phase Rush Tahmkench top lane. Phase Rush Tahmkench top lane is actually really strong, because you can just ult people on the tower, whenever you want to. It's really easy, just look in Tahmkench top lane. Take Ghost and TP. And for runes you go Phase Rush, Mana Flow Band, Celerity and Gathering Storm. For second runes you go Ultimate Hunter together with Cheap Shot. Last but not least you're gonna go Attack Speed, Adaptive Force, Armor or Magic Resist, depends on the matchup. I will quickly go over every ability so you know what it does and how to use it. Alright, so your Q is basically you lick someone. It applies a stack, it slows the enemy and it deals a ton of damage. This is your main damage together with auto attacks. If the enemy has 3 stacks on your passive, you can Q them and it will stun the target instead of slow the target. UW is a point and click dive basically. You go to a certain point, if the enemy is there, you knock the target up, if not you just stand there. You can get CC'd out of it, so be aware of that. In this build, we're only going to use it as an escape tool and not really as an engage, because otherwise you will waste one of your 3 auto attacks of your Phase Rush, and your Phase Rush will proc too soon and it will be really bad. Your E is called Thick Skin, and it basically means a percentage of your health will turn into grey health. If you press E when you have a grey health bar, it will convert into a shield. The shield is temporary, but it's very handy in order to survive burst. When you do not activate E for 4 seconds after you have taken damage, aka you haven't taken damage for 4 seconds and you have a grey health bar, a percentage of that grey health, depends on how many points you put in E, will convert back to health. This is your sustain for most of the time late game. You can just team fight, go back out, heal everything back and go back into the team fight. Your ult is basically you can eat an ally or an enemy champion. If you ult an ally, you will gain extra movement speed and you can secure him to safety basically. And whenever you spit him out, he will gain a huge shield. However, with this build, we will try to eat as much enemies as possible. In order to do that, you need to apply 3 stacks on him. So either with Qs or auto attacks or both, right? And you can then eat him and you will get slowed. But with Phase Rush proc and Ghost, the slowing effect doesn't really apply. You gain extra movement speed because of the Phase Rush and the Ghost. And you can just basically kidnap people. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the summoner spells. Because TP is basically just to TP back to lane to survive early game or help with fights when you're split pushing. Your Ghost, you use it to accelerate your movement speed whenever it's possible. When you ult someone, for example, you auto attack them twice, Q'd, ult him, then you activate Ghost, you can actually travel him way and way faster than you would have been without Ghost, right? Alright, so your build is gonna be really weird and specific. Alright, so your first item is gonna be Nashor's Tooth. Nashor's Tooth gives you a lot of AP and all your abilities except E scale with AP. Your attack speed, you gain 50% attack speed and you gain the on-hit magic damage. The reason why I built it is basically because of all the basic stats it gives. The attack speed is really handy to proc your ult as soon as possible together with the Phase Rush. And the AP is really handy in order to deal that extra little bit of damage that will come in clutch in those close early game fights. For boots, you're probably gonna go plated, but sometimes Mercury threats. I tried Boots of Swiftness or Berserker Greaves, but you kinda need the resistance in order to do things, and I tested it with dummies how far you could have gone if you went to Boots of Swiftness, and it's not that much of a difference, so this is why plated steel caps or Mercury threats are your main choice. For your mythic, you're gonna build Frostfire Gauntlet. The reason why you're gonna build Frostfire Gauntlet is because your auto attack now slows. And that means you can proc your ult way quicker without them running away. If I'm auto attacking him now and he tries to run away, he is getting slowed. So that means with the additional attack speed of Nashor's Tooth, I will basically ult them around here and then I can just still eat them and do my thing, right? And now we're gonna talk about the most busted item on Tahmkench, Spirit Visage. The reason why it's so strong is because it gives you the 25% extra healing. That means that if you have a gray health bar, you will heal back fully. And anti-heal doesn't trigger because you need to hit someone and then your E won't trigger. So that means after 4 seconds out of combat, anti-heal will be over and you will heal to full HP. The last 2 items are optional. I usually go Thornmail into Gargoyle in order to save my E shield and just use Gargoyle, right? To tank the burst. You can also go for more damage if you want. And then you're gonna build Cosmic Drive into Demonic. And now you have a lot more AP. You do a lot more damage. You're not as tanky as you should be. But you deal so much damage that it can actually be very strong, right? I highly recommend just build the tank variant. I'm doing this in ranked and the tank variant is better overall. So with this build, this final build, the Nash's Tooth into your boots, right? Into Frostfire, into Spirit Visage, into most likely Thornmail, into Gargoyle. This is the most ideal situation. Or what I consider to be even better is with Randomance Omen, if possible. But most of the time you kind of need the anti-heal, so yeah, that's about the items. Alright, so now I will go over the early, mid and late game. Early game, mid game and late game. How do you play that? Well, first of all, early game is gonna be tough for you. You're strong early game as Tahmkench, but with this build, you're not as strong as you should be, right? But that's okay. You can just queue the wave, right? Farm, maybe get some poke in. Whenever you're level 6, right? Whenever you got ult, you can go, if the wave is around here, you can go for an ult on the tower play, right? Ik heb het trouwens net echt fantastisch op de toren geopend.
Weet je, ik ben helemaal botlane, maar ik zoom gewoon lekker naar boven.
A couple of matches ago, I was playing this in ranked, and there was a Mundo, and he kind of counters me because I can't ult him, and he was getting pretty fat. I was not like inting harsh, but he was getting pretty fat. That doesn't really matter because I outskill him as a Tahmkench. And this is why you need to play really safe in early game. To play equal or get ahead, then you're fine. If you're behind, then you're a little bit less fine, but you can come back very easy. Mid game is kind of difficult because you need to split push all the time. That's where Tahmkench is kind of good in, right? And W away whenever they come near you, basically. TP in when there's a team fight happening, right? And it's either 3 things you can do. Create picks. Let's say an enemy is overextended here, right? And allies are like here, right? You can just basically Q him, slow him, auto attack, and then you can just ult him. You get the speed boost and there you go. He is away from his team. The team can or go in, but most likely lose because you already ulted someone, right? Or they can leave the guy and it's a 4v5. This is really strong. This is most ideal situation that you can just ult someone on the tower or in your team. That's how you win team fights. What you also can do next to split pushing and creating picks, you can just ult the fat carry of the team. Or like ult the front line. We go back to the Mundo match. There was one time Mundo jumped on like 3 people that were like squishy, so he pretty much one-shotted one of them. I ulted him away, and that's why we won, because there was a tank Nunu and we won the battle because they had no frontline. And this is how you play late to mid game. Late game is basically ulting the fat carry, ulting just someone that needs to get away and run away with him. Try to get in a 1v1, you stall for way too long, your team helps because they win the fight. And that's about it. I do not have a lot of other things to tell you. Just this build is very good. Be sure to know when you proc your phase rush. And your ultimate hunter is gonna help you proc your ult, get your ult faster back up, right? And try to auto attack, Q auto attack. That's how you wanna do it ideally. But I usually Q first because you slow the enemy. And then you auto attack them. They get slowed again and then you auto attack them and then you ult them. That's basically it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tested this a lot, like the Maokai jungle guide, right? I'm not just playing this 2 times and say it's a good build. I tested it a bunch. And this is about it. Subscribe if you want to, because I make off-meta guides all the time. And like if you like this video. And have a good one. Let's go!